Hey everyone, it's Jeff Douglas, Doctor of Physical Therapy and Golf Fitness Specialist. And here we're going to go over what we call are the Fab Six exercises or assessments that we do with many of our clients to try to find asymmetries within their body when it comes to movement. All right. So this is a evaluation or a scan that we'd like to do. All right. And so these are the basic six that I usually start with. But when you get into the nitty gritty of this TMR technique, you can use any motion as long as you do the same one on one side compared to the other side. But usually these six will clear up for the most part. I'd say probably 80-85% of people out there. Okay. So the first assessment or movement that we'd like to scan is our shoulder flexion or shoulder raise. So you're going to take one arm, sit nice and tall, and you're going to bring it up so the bicep comes right by the ear. And you're going to go all the way up, bring as far back as you can, and you're then going to compare that to the other side, bring that bicep right by the ear. All right. And when we do these assessments or these movement screens, we're looking to compare how much range of motion was available, the quality of motion, as in, was it harder to get there versus the other side, or did it feel weaker? Maybe another way of interpreting that. Or is there pain on one side versus the other? All right. And then we have to mark a score of 0 to 100, 100 being the biggest difference, 0 being no difference at all between those two motions. So roughly 70 to 100 would be a big difference. Like 40 to 60 would be a medium difference, and 0 to 30 would be a small difference. Okay. So the first one is a shoulder raise. Make sure you don't come out to the side, because if I go like this, yeah, I got lots of range of motion. That's to make it, control the variables. We got to make sure it comes right by that ear. So very important that you do that. You may also need to record yourself, because sometimes people think, oh, it feels the same. But if I were there to watch you, I'd be like, oh no, there's a big difference, but you don't feel that. So sometimes recording yourself or watching yourself in a mirror may help you determine if there was a difference. Okay. So the first one was our shoulder raise. Second one is going to be our trunk turn. And again, to keep variables the same, I like to either put a block, you could take like a yoga block and put it right here, or just cross your feet and keep it there, so that every time we come back and test, it's the same. So sit nice and tall. I put my hands right on my chest, interlock my fingers, and I'm just going to rotate to the right, see how much range of motion I have, and rotate to the left. So if I compared that right now, my right is much tighter than my left, then I would make a note that there's probably about a 40% difference of how much rotation and how difficult it is for me to get to the right versus my left. Okay. Next, we're going to go into our single leg raise. So again, got to keep everything consistent. Put one leg out, so my feet straighten it, and our goal is to raise this leg as high as we can to make this angle between my chest and the femur smaller. You're going to record how hard was that, how high did that get, and then bring that foot back in, bring the other foot out, raise it up. And you can do a few tests here. If it hurts, you probably don't want to do too many. And then I would compare. For me, there wasn't much of a difference there. So I'd maybe say like a 10% difference, that my right side was a little tighter than my left. So that's 3 of them. Next, we're going to do a sit to stand using one leg. If you're strong enough, you literally are just going to use one leg, and you can put it behind your leg, your other one. So if I'm doing my right leg, I can put the left one behind, stand up and down, and then I switch and compare. All right. And for me, not much of a difference. If that's too difficult for you, then I'm testing my right leg. I put the left one behind my right. It's on the ground to give me a little help, but I'm doing like 90%. You have to make sure you do the other way the exact same. So you have a little more balance by having it there, but you've got to make sure when you come up, whatever leg we're testing is the one that's doing the majority of work. So that is 4 of them so far. The next one that we're going to do is pretty much like a mini single leg squat. So I did from the side, leg straight. I'm trying to reach out as far as I can where I tap my heel. I can't put my weight into it. If I go too far and I can't get back, you're reaching too far. So it's good to put like a line on the floor, and you can see where you got there, and then you would switch. Could you get one further than the other? Was there pain? Was one harder to do? All right. So that would be our single leg reach exercise. And then I have a sixth one that I'll show you that's separate. All right, the last one of the six of the Fab Six is going to be a wall press. So pretty much like you're doing a single arm push up, but standing. All right, so you're going to find a corner of a wall, a door. I'm going to do my right one first. Is you're going to come and you're going to come right over here, and I'm going to just lean into it and get as deep as I can, so we can kind of stretch out that anterior shoulder region. All right, we're just going for the depth. How far can you get when you go there? If I then would come to the other corner, and then I would just do my other arm, leaning forward. How much depth can I get and get back? And then again, noting, is there a difference on that? For me, I'd say there's a 0 right now. But for some, that can be a big decipher of where they might feel they're gunked up on one side versus the other. All right, so it's not a full-on push-up, or how deep can you get and get back, and then compare to the other side, and that would complete our Fab 6.